Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, isn't that nice when you have the Ukrainians telling you that the Russians are attacking on 6 fronts and 650 combat clashes took place? Why is that? Because you have to multiply it by 3, not necessarily the fronts, but the attacks and the intensity. I have a map and I have a little update of the entire front coming from the Ukrainians. So let's start with the article, Ukrainska Pravda, Monday the 13th November 2023. Russians try to advance on 6 fronts, 50 combat clashes take place over the day. I think they didn't even try. I think they tried, but tell me that they didn't succeed would be garbage. But we don't see any major developments on the front anyway. Now that's a beautiful picture over there. It looks like it's planned. All right, move on. During the day, that makes you like want to go and fight and get some bullets in you, doesn't it? During the day, 50 combat clashes took place at the front. The Russians launched 2 missile strikes and 32 airstrikes and carried out 23 attacks with multiple launch rocket systems. Now, this is according to General Staff at 6 p.m. on October 13th. Quote, during the day, the Air Force of the Defense Forces carried out 8 strikes, on the areas where Russian personnel, weapons and military equipment were concentrated, and 1 strike on a Russian multiple launch rocket system. We're going to look over the map as soon as we get to the fronts, the 6 fronts they are talking about. Units of the rocket forces and artillery inflicted damage on 6 areas where Russian personnel, weapons and military equipment were concentrated. 2 control points, 4 artillery units, 1 anti-aircraft defense system, and 1 other important enemy target. Ooh, I wonder what it is. What's that? An outhouse? Okay, all right. Well, let's see the details. On the Kupiansk front. So we're going to start straight to the front, not like they used to, like telling us about Chernihiv, Sumy. They start right here, straight in this area. So they talk about this front in the north, where they conduct clashes actually face to face. On the Kupiansk front, the Russians carried out assaults near in Kharkiv Oblast, where Ukrainian soldiers repelled 6 attacks. Now we're going to go to Bakhmut. They forgot about Liman, but hey, they know better, right? So from here, Bakhmut is right here, which is Artemovsk by the Russians. Where are you? Right here. So this is Artemovsk. So Kupiansk is up north of Artemovsk, and this is Artemovsk. From Artemovsk, we're going to go to Avdiivka, which is almost encircled, surrounded. So Artemovsk. All right. The Russians carried out assaults near Ivanivske, Klitschivka, and Andriivka, Donetsk Oblast, where Ukrainian defenders repelled 11 attacks. Good for you. On the Avdiivka, as I said, south, the one that is mostly surrounded, right there. We're talking about this one. In the big scheme of things, it's right here. All right. This is the Sea of Azov, Crimean Peninsula, Black Sea, and blah, blah, blah. So we're talking about this area. On the Avdiivka front, the Russians conducted unsuccessful assault actions south of Novokalinove, Avdiivka, Sieverne, and east of Pervonmaiske, Donetsk Oblast, where the defense forces repulsed 8 attacks. On the Marinka front, we go south of Avdiivka, which is, let me show you, and make it big. That was the opposite, I guess. Okay, so Avdiivka is right here, the one that's surrounded. We go to Marinka right here. We got an update from the Russians as well, and we can see what's going on. According to the Russians, battles are raging in the city. And if we want to go to Bakhmut, we can go here, and it says, kind of, Battle Group Yug hammered Ukrainian troops using air and artillery strikes. This is drones coming from Ukrainians. Russian air defenses shot down 2 Ukrainian drones. And here is battle group successfully repelled all attacks by Ukrainian assault units. So they both attack in Kupiansk. Using air, heavy flamethrower systems and artillery strikes. And we go back to where we've been here, to Marinka, which is down here, or down there. Marinka. The Russians, with the support of aircraft, conducted unsuccessful assaults near Marinka and Novomikhailivka. Oh my, Donetsk Oblast, where Ukrainian defenses forces repulsed 15 attacks like this, like Sotogi, isn't it? Now, on the Shakhtarsk front, now we go from here, we go in this area. And this is before, which is Vuhledar right here, or Vuhledar, before we enter Zaporizhia right here, where supposedly the counteroffensive is still going. I don't know where, but anyway, upstream, I guess, spawning like salmon. All right, the Shakhtarsk front, the Russians conducted unsuccessful assaults south of Zolota Niva in Donetsk Oblast. We go to Zaporizhia front. This is where the counteroffensive is, right here. This is the Sea of Azov. Here is Mariupol, but this is Berdyansk and Melitopol. This is the line of attack. This is where they wanted to break through this area. In the Zaporizhia front, the Russians conducted unsuccessful assaults near of Robotynia in Zaporizhia Oblast, where Ukrainian defenders repelled four Russian attacks, like a Gedambarai. Boom, right there. At the same time, the defense forces of Ukraine continue to conduct the offensive operation of the Melitopol front, and offensive assaults actions on the Bakhmut front inflict losses in manpower and equipment on the Russian forces and exhaust the Russians along the entire front line. Okay, I got you. Now let's go to see what the Russians are saying actually, right? In Zaporizhia, here. Russian air defenses shot down a Ukrainian drone. Russian forces successfully repelled. These guys do like, woo, like this, right? Good. An attack by a Ukrainian assault unit. Okay, and then here, Russian forces hammered Ukrainian troops and military equipment of the 117th Mechanized Brigade using air and artillery strikes. Now let's go to this area where the Ukrainians did not report much, actually nothing. These blue things, blue Christmas here, are bombardments coming from the Ukrainians, and the red ones, the Russians did something. Let's see what the Russians did. They struck a concentration of Ukrainian troops, okay, blah, blah, blah. And then they did here, destroy the Ukrainian 2S3 Akatsiya 152mm self-propelled howitzer, along with ammunition. 4 Ukrainian soldiers were killed and 2 were wounded. And why do I don't talk about the bombardments coming from the Ukrainians? Because it's the same narrative. The Russians, the Ukrainians, they learned from the Ukrainians. The Ukrainians bombarded civilians, casualties, villages, nothing, nobody died but 2 civilians, 1 dog and a cow or something. You want to see? Okay, let's see what's going on here. Ukrainian forces fired 11 shells at the city using artillery. 1 civilian was killed. What did I tell you? All right, and let's see what's going on here. Nothing else matters, like a Metallica song. So here it is, the update. And remember, the title was Russians tried to advance on 6 fronts. 50 combat clashes take place over the day. All right, my friends. Nobody breaks through. No big developments, like in Avdiivka, not completely surrounded. The Ukrainians claimed that they crossed over the Dnieper River in Kherson on the left bank. Well, the Russians said something that we are regrouping over there. The Ukrainians claim, the Russians said they are retreating. Supposedly, the whomever put that article up, that the Russians are regrouping or retreating, supposedly they deleted it. You can't find it anymore. I don't really care. I'm waiting because, I'm waiting to see more evidence. Not, hey, they retreat. Okay, wait 1 or 2 days, and then they will keep hammering the news. They give the right spin. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and then be just.